What's up, everyone? Mark Price here with DevSlopes.com, and we are going to dive into the wide world of HTML. And what you're going to find as we go through this is that you're going to learn it really fast. Okay, HTML is actually quite simple once you pick it up. And so what we're going to do now, it's going to seem extended because I'm going to go in detail on things, but you'll later look back and be like, wow, I could have learned this in 5 minutes, which you can. So, and it's okay if it takes a little bit longer for those of you who are absolutely new and have never coded anything, but it's relatively straightforward once you get the hang of it here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. So I'm going to go over here to my courses, my Ultimate Web Development course, section 1, and create a new folder here called Code Recording, the code for when I'm recording. And I'm going to create a new folder here called Hello World. And actually, no, we're going to call this we'll call this First Website. That's what I meant to do. And what I'm going to do is open this folder in brackets. So let's go find brackets. Okay, I've got another project open here. I'm just going to go to File, Open Folder, and we are going to go find what we just created. Goodness, I can see all these invisible files, which is why I'm seeing all this stuff here. And was it in Documents that I put it in? Yeah, sure enough, it was. Okay, Documents, Section 1, Code Recording, First Website. I'm gonna open. Okay, as you can see, there's nothing here, so let's go ahead and create a new file. And we're going to call this index.html. Now, question of the day is, does it have to be named index? And the answer is no. However, when you're building websites, the typical entry point file that you have will be called index.html, and servers if you host on a server like GoDaddy or just someplace that's hosting your files, your static files, it will look for an index.html or index.php to get your project started and loaded on the browser. Okay, perfect. So here we go. We're going to start off by doing something called doctype. Okay. And then HTML. Now, this is not an HTML tag. This is simply a statement that lets your browser know which version of HTML that you are using. And currently, we are using HTML5, which is why we don't do anything else except write HTML here. And HTML5 is widely supported among all browsers. And if you are developing on Windows, I highly recommend that you do not do any testing on your Microsoft Edge, or at least do your development work. You can do your testing on it because most people don't use that, and the developer tools available on Chrome and Firefox are much better. So you always start off a document stating what type of HTML version that you're using, okay? And some browsers, you don't need to put that on there, but it can cause problems, so it's always recommended that you put it there. The next thing we're going to do to start off is we are going to put an HTML tag. Okay, this is a tag, and this is the beginning of your document, okay? Pretty cool. The next thing you're going to do is put in a body. Okay, and a body is like the content. Just think of a person, you've got the head, and then you've got the body. Okay, so inside the body is where you can actually write different things. So let's go ahead, now that we've got some HTML here, let's go ahead and save this file, Command S, and let's click the lightning bolt over here for a live preview to see what actually happens when we load it. As you can see, our screen is blank. Is it working? Well, it's hard to know. So what I'm going to do is from day one, I'm going to teach you the professional development tools that you'll be using in your life as a web developer. So what we're going to do is hold down Control Alt and J, or Command Alt J, which is going to open up the console. Okay. So fail to load resource. Okay, it can't find favicon.icl, which is fine. You're always going to see this error unless you provide a little icon up here, in which we don't need that. And so I'm here on the console tab. Okay, this is the Google Chrome console, and that Command Alt J or Control Alt J, that only works on Google Chrome. Okay, Firefox has their own development tools. We'll be using Google Chrome in this course. It lets us see the elements that are here. If you click elements, you can hover over them, okay? And it shows us the CSS down here. Now this is just boilerplate CSS, and we didn't write any of this, but pretty cool. We can see what's in our body, which actually is nothing right now. So this will be very important for us moving on and forward. So nothing's happening though, and what's the reason why? Well, it's because we haven't written anything to display on here. So let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to pretend that we're building a simplified version of DevSlopes Learn to Code website, where you come to the website, you can find some various courses, and you can buy them or watch them, okay? And so what we want to do is we kind of want to have some type of banner saying, welcome to our page. So we're going to say welcome to DevSlopes. Command S to save, or Control S. And if we go back over to our preview here, okay, I think we lost our live connection because I opened up the console. So let's open this up again. Welcome to DevSlopes. Sure enough, it's right there. Okay. And what I do want to do is open up the console again. Another way to do that is right-click and go to Inspect. This will open up the console, and it will let you inspect it here. And sure enough, whereas it was empty before, it now has an H1 tag here. Data brackets ID equals 5. Okay, that just has to do with brackets. They're inserting that for us dynamically here in this as it's running this. Don't worry about that. That has nothing to do with our project. It's simply with this tool so we can do the live preview. And then there's the text, welcome to DevSlopes. Okay, and again, don't worry about the equals to 0 as well too. That has nothing to do with what we're writing here. These are just some debug tools that has been inserted for us. Very cool. And these are just basic style sheets that are implemented for us. We didn't write any of that either. Okay, that's default stuff. So pretty cool stuff here. Live preview was canceled because the browser's developer tools are open. So just know your live preview will actually not work if you pull open the developer tools. And if you don't remember, the live preview is very powerful. It lets us do things like code and watch the results at the same time. So if I say welcome to DevSlopes, exclamation, 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 the live preview shows that real time, which is why I like to use brackets, because that's pretty dang cool. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've created we've specified what type of HTML we're using. We've started with the HTML tag, and we've ended using the backslash here. Where's that forward slash? That's a forward slash. We've used the forward slash to end the HTML. Every time you write, well, most tags in HTML, okay, will have a forward slash on them to show that we're ending it, okay? And notice how they kind of line up here. If you want to move things around, like indent them, you can press tab to indent or shift and tab to unindent. Okay, and we've used the header tag so far. This is what H1 stands for. There are other multiple header tags available to us, which I can show you right now. So say H2, welcome to DevSlopes. Okay, if you're starting to see a trend here, H3, welcome to DevSlopes. H4, okay, same thing, right? Welcome to DevSlopes. Pretty cool, right? So let's see what happens if I take this tag off. Well, this still looks the same. This is red yelling at us here, but it looks fine. What's the problem? Well, let's see if anything's happening. Command-Alt-J. Let's go to Elements. Okay, so we got an H4 here, and look at that. For some reason, it's like inserting it for us automatically. That's really interesting, huh? Well, let's refresh the page. Okay, it just put it in there for us automatically. Okay, now that's really bad, and some browsers aren't as smart and won't fix this for you. So it's very, very important, no matter what, that you always listen to your IDE here, your tool, or more importantly, that you always end your tags, okay? So it's an H4, and the higher up you go, the smaller the font gets, right? Welcome to DevSlopes. Okay, so you definitely can do different types of tags here, and we lost our live preview, of course, so let's open that up again. Okay, so we've worked with header so far. Okay, welcome to DevSlopes, welcome to DevSlopes, welcome to DevSlopes, welcome to DevSlopes, welcome to DevSlopes. Pretty cool. And let's do one more thing. Let's go ahead and work with the title here. In order to work with the title on your page, you have to put in a head. A head is typically not visible. The things you put in it are not visible. That is typically where you load things like CSS or external font files or things like that. However, one is visible, which is the title of your page. So we can say DevSlopes learn to code. And as you can see up here on the browser tab, that is where that is specified, is here in the head and in the title. We do have an ending title tag here, and we do have an ending head tag here, and this is all coming together. Now I'm going to get rid of these other header tags because we only need one. Welcome to DevSlopes. So you've learned a lot here. You've learned again about the doc type, which specifies which version of HTML. You know that you need to start your web apps or your HTML files with an HTML tag, and then a head tag if you want to put link things, which we have not done yet. And then we've got the body tag, which is actually where your content will go. Okay, and sometimes also people like to link files here at the bottom of the body tag as well to load after the body's loaded, which is you can do that as well. And we talked about headers 1 through 5. You can read more about headers on the W3 references on the internet. And we're going to call this video done. You've just dived into the world of web development, and in the subsequent videos, we are going to finish building our very simple website, which is going to be quite ugly because there's no CSS, but we got to start somewhere. So Mark Price at devslopes.com, moving on and forward.
We'll be right back.